So the BDR has its own thing. I think the motorcycle community kind of does, especially when you're remote. And then Able Shepherd that take care of one another, we mean it, you know? So to see this out, when those two worlds collide, and doing things not because you have to, because somebody might need it. It's the right thing to do, right? So I love this. These people, we know each other, but we know each other on a different kind of level. And to get out here and experience this with people that you know, like I don't need to wonder if these guys got my back, you know, it's not a thing.
It's gonna be like filming monkeys throwing poop at the zoo.
You got this. Give me a second to help you. Hold it up, boy.
Yeah.
You might just need more air.
Yeah.
All right, now we just need a patch kit.
We backtrack to the next.
Awesome. Motorcycle community. Had some passers-by with a patch kit. They're waiting for everyone to circle back, and they beat him to it. Pretty awesome.
Here we go. Everyone's getting geared up, ready for action.
The BDR, to me, the number one thing people ask, it's the brotherhood. I mean, I just go right. I'm a big old heart guy, social, and I just love this. And my wife, she says it does something for your soul, right? You get out there with your guys and do your guy thing and manly thing. That's another thing that this sport draws, I find. There's a lot of professional men, and that made it even richer. I'm surprised at the age and the caliber of a lot of the men that are on these trails. It blows me away, and it excites me as well. It really does. Inspires me.
Time for the rain gear, huh?
I learned. I'm a quick learner.
What you doing, Christian?
Getting a Sprite.
Getting a Sprite? All right.
You can't pay to have, this kind of knowledge. Like, we have conversations, we turn around that mudslide. I got to tell him about, in the SEAL teams, I learned you do not underestimate water. You don't control it, you know what I mean? So we can just turn around, and that's just, you got to be careful. You don't control that spigot, and if it turns times 10 and you're halfway through it, that's just the deal, and then you just don't do it, and it was like, if it was an emergency, I'd push it to save somebobody's life, but this isn't. Let's just go around, and you get to talk about that stuff. He asks crazy questions in these rides, and all my kids I say, what do you want to be when you grow up? They say it, they say marine biologist or this or that, and they all say, and an Able Shepherd. And I go, why would you say that? And you go, well, one, you're saving the world, and two, everybody's so nice. I'm like, we're doing something right.
When the water subsides a little bit, meaning the damage, we're still good.
That's nasty right here.
Yeah, if we get a vehicle or a bike stuck here, that could pick up any second.
Yeah.
That's a flash flood, and if it picks up,
I know.
I could kill somebody. That's how we go back.
Men have lost that sense of community, especially that sense of tribe. But I think men were built to be part of a tribe. Men were built to fight a fight. Men were built to protect theirs and to provide. And when there's no need for that or no ability for that, I think it leads to a lot of unhappiness and depression. I think Able Shepherd provides that technical backing, that ability to actually do, but then the community and the camaraderie and the tribe to go and do it with.
But we could just kind of bypass this whole thing and go all the way around, and then hit part of it tomorrow morning.
Yeah, I've always heard about burn area washouts, and we just saw one. Good stuff.
Well, Able Shepherd in general is a family. And so it's like, hey, you want to go camping? It's like going camping with the family. I think what I learned from this particular trip in particular is it's also important to really, really like the people you want to spend this kind of time with. This is like camping with family, right? With your brothers, your sister, with like Allison, coming around, and the fact that we have, guys like Jimmy and BK and Allison coming along that aren't even riding and providing support in a vehicle. I mean, nobody gets that, but that shows how much they care and how much they want to have a good time.
We're looking to see if we can book some rooms here and dry off and warm up because it's freezing and the rain is coming again.
The lady's number on to my boss. I will also pass your number on. I'm getting ready to travel over there to his house right now.
Okay.
He's working on it.
Okay.
So I will pass his number along, and he should get back in touch with you momentarily.
Okay.
I found out Dawn is on the phone with their management and is already working on a room.
I like $2 beers, I like $3 wells. Some old honky-tonk bar I know by the smell. Some old drums on March.
Usually I have a full dining room plus patio.
There's a couple of us that have been around a while, you know, and understand what it means to take care of one another. And it's going back to sports, you know, there's no I in team. You're there for the team, you set your ego aside, whatever anybody needs, you step up and just do it. And as you practice that more often, what you'll find is you're trying to anticipate what somebody's needs are before they even know it. So you show up with a jug of water when somebody's obviously dehydrated, or you show up with a tool before they need to tighten their lug nuts, type of thing. So, and that even happens once we get to camp. Nobody's really speaking or talking. Tents are getting set up, fires are getting started, food's getting cooked, trash bags are in place. Each day it progresses and becomes more seamless.
Everett, how was the expert-only water crossing?
It was good. Just don't think it. Don't give yourself time to think. You don't give yourself time to think about it, you don't psych yourself out. It's good. It's fun. That's why we're here. Adventure.
It was a little scary, but yeah, my heart's pounding. It was fun.
You went pretty fast through it.
Did I?
You were. I go slow through water crossings. You were like, bam, and you crushed it.
I felt like, yeah, I felt sloppy, but okay, cool. I'll take the win.
I show up on the very last day of this ride, and I hear stories about people getting flat. I hear stories of mudslides. I hear stories of people going down, water crossings. That's like the obvious stuff, right? And there's some people that go on these adventures, have a lot of experience, and they know how to repair flats. They know what to do when you pull a nail out. And there's people that have never done that before, ever. And so it's part of that knowledge transfer of people that know, showing people that have never done it, and that's taking care of one another.
Good job. Yeah.
Love you.
Long way from California ride.
Yeah.
I gotta say, I love these gravel roads. 60 miles an hour and bumping along, it feels good on the belly. But kind of second guessing, should have done the river crossing. Just didn't want to get a trailer hitch hooked up and have to pull a vehicle out of a river. How about you?
Great. Fantastic.
At least a swimmer's sticker.
Like I figured out the attire problem. You know, we've been questioning what to wear. Wetsuits. I mean, you got it all figured out.
What, do you want a cookie? Yes, please.
Do you
like a dry cookie or a wet cookie?
Yeah, the cookies are dry. Christian, you want a cookie? Sure.
Might be a skinny dip involved. I was turning in and I'm like,
Skinny dip or chili dip?
oh, chili dip. Don't judge me.
What's happening right now?
Chili skinny dip.
That's okay.
Change things.
We have it on
What's
film.
worse than a chili skinny dip?
I didn't hear anything. Your extensions for your cooler?
Thank you.
Full cut on your way
He's
out.
leaning into the dog, and he's leaning up looking, kind of checking himself in the mirror, going. The dog jumps in the backpack, and he looks back and goes, "Honey!" I'm like, "Christian, what'd you do?" He's like, and then he looked back and she was back. He thought she went out the window, didn't you?
Yeah.
You're like, you're gonna break Sarah's heart, man.
Yeah, right.
PB&J?
Cool. Goes back in the cooler, boy.
Do you want your Gatorade?
Sure.
That's legit cowboy.
For reals.
This is a hard-working cowboy. This ain't poser wear your boots and jeans to the Grizzly Rose cowboy.
You're out in the sticks a little bit. You don't have the support network that you're used to. It really forges the community much faster. You know, here it's a small group, and there's a lot of things you can't do by yourself, so you have to have some help. Otherwise, it's going to take you, half a day to get it done. I mean, everybody's pitching in, and you just kind of get the job done, and you support where you can, and you lean on each other, and it creates community. And that feels good because it's something that's missing in our society a little bit too much. And it's just a great excuse to get out and enjoy the outdoors again. So it's wonderful.
At 55 years old, I think, at people who are not as active and they see what you do, they're like, man, you're getting old. You shouldn't be doing that stuff. Like to see these guys, I know they're on lighter bikes as you get older, but nonetheless, they're roughing it. They're out there. They're in nature. They're beating themselves up a little bit, and they too love the camaraderie. They're waiting for you to ask them hello or say hello to them and ask them where they're from or something. And a lot of times it is, hey, have y'all went this section yet? How hard is it? See a common thing too. It's pretty funny. Everybody has that nervous fear a little bit of what's ahead of them, which makes the adventure. That's the adventure.
So BK, where are we going?
Going up on top of the hill. We're gonna get to the towers. Way up yonder.
This adventure sport is a lot of work. It's work in the morning, it's work in the day, and it's work at night. And the neat thing is to see the camaraderie of helping each other out and cooking and cleaning up messes. And it's not always on two wheels. We're seeing a lot of support in the four wheels. And when you're working for each other, you know how that turns out. There's respect, there's reciprocation, and just it's healthy. It adds to the experience.
It was always fun trying to find a flat spot, and then there was the juggling of who's going to snore and who's not going to snore, how close you want to be to somebody. Stories that got shared, but listening to you guys talk about gear and events and other events, and then talking about doing it again or which BDR you liked best. It was just a neat time to see a different aspect of people instead of on the range or doing entries. So that's primarily my relationship with most of these guys up to this point, and so that was fun.
Not too bad. Wash those pits, those stinky pits.
Honey, come here. Honey.
Your mom would have a heart attack right now, knowing we're about to put her back in the truck. Don Jones joining the queue. Yeehaw!
Where are we, Mike? Alcova. Sloan's General Store. I'm stocking up
For the Beaver Rim.
Roger that.
Oh God, look at this. Look at the vest. The Velcro.
Beaver Rim.
Beaver Rim.
Beaver
Beaver Run? Beaver Rim? I'm in.
You feeling it? You ready?
Story.
Right here, baby. Breakfast of champions. Actually, snacks of champions.
Got the cabin pressure set at 70 degrees, channel 58 on XM radio, old school country. Okay. And we're just eating Mike Miller's dust.
What's the in-flight meal today?
Dried peaches, stale coffee, apricots,
Okay.
and battery charging devices.
I'll be good as soon as I get rid of the remnants of my latest passenger.
We're not created to just get by, right? Not to just survive, but to thrive. Long Way Round did a thing for me, right? There was something raw about that said, these are just two buddies that are going out doing a thing. Yes, they're actors. But then I did the Ride for Lance, which was 12,000 miles to Alaska and back, and a thing happened. And I was like, I can't ignore that thing. And then in every ride we've done since, everybody's come back stronger.
Driving behind, driving behind. Driving behind, driving behind. Driving behind, driving behind. Driving behind.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. 8 seconds, 8 seconds, 8 seconds, 8 seconds.
It reminds me of the California BDR, which was not my most exciting happy times. I'm not having I'm having a blast, but this trail sucks. Yeah, I'm here, and I haven't gone down. Well, I dropped the bike twice on day one, I think, but
It's good. It's fun. Yeah, if you call bouncing fun. No, it was good. I like these trails. I like the technical, but what I tried to go through probably shouldn't have. Learning lesson for me. I'll try to chalk this one up. But when you just need a micro steer,
right,
and that micro steer results in nothing,
yeah,
then you steer harder and your tire's still just going straight, and then you just, bam!
Ooh,
yeah. And you bounce. And I literally bounced and then landed over here in this dry stuff.
Yeah.
And the problem, I think part of it was there's a slight incline, so when I hit, I actually had ground facing me, so it was more of a impact.
Ooh, yeah.
Why is there mud on your helmet?
Mud was just flying at me. Yep, just had a slip and fall. Picked the wrong rut.
You playing the mud like me, Reg?
Oh, you did too? Yeah, I went to cross over. Back tire went, and then bend it. Yeah, it's all good. It's all fun. It's all adventure.
When I went off the road, I'm like, oh man, and I had to get in these gullies, and then I just I hope there's not a rock behind this bush, and I literally hit the bush, and it jacked me up, and I whiskeyed it, and I went boom, and I jumped back into the trap.
You go down?
No, I did not. I rode the bucking bronco, man. You rode that out. Nice. BK and Allison were like, 8 seconds, just get on there for 8 seconds.
He's giving it everything he's got.
Little sprinkles of sand.
Click the heels, click the heels.
Hey BK, how much whiskey are you gonna drink tonight?
Yes.
You get a flat, you crash, you get tired, you get beat up. There's somebody there to pick up your buddy's picking up your bike because you just picked up his. You're not going to be left out in the woods. You know, men that you know or people that you know that never maybe leave home, never leave their neighborhood, right? Never leave their community. They never go out into the world and risk. They never go out and do dangerous things. They never go out and have to depend on their own wit and their own grit to survive. And I think those people, you could tell the difference when someone who has traveled the world or who has done, dangerous things because they needed to. I think you put those two people side by side and you can immediately tell which one's which.
So how's the trail treating you guys?
The trail is winning.
It was that second day on the Beaver Rim. I was having a tough time. I was having a really tough time in that mud and that sand and on that big bike. And I was just, I questioned, what am I doing here on this thing? But then I look back now after that day was done and be like, I did that. So that sense of accomplishment was the peak caused by the low.
The one thing I most looked forward to was sand, because that was the great equalizer. The truck will fly through sand. Motorcycles have to slow down and struggle. So the variety was fantastic, and making up words to songs.
Man, I jumped in the lake and he changed his mind, but then when you guys rolled out, We went swimming. We jumped in the lake, didn't we? And with the dog.
Nice.
So that was a pretty awesome way to start the day. Then we got supplies. We got some food, and some beers, and some other stuff in town, didn't we? Yep.
Cool.
And you got to call his mom.
There's a cup of coffee in there. Nice.
Look at that.
Got a shotgun up on the wall.
Matters.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah. This is where all the money changed hands.
We are now in the cave. Oh, check that out.
BK was so much fun. He's an amazing man, and so many aspects to him, which was really cool. And what a great sense of humor. And he was always concerned about his little chicks on the motorcycles. You know, that was his primary concern, and that's what we're here for. So, I mean, the jokes we had and the chats we had, and sometimes just sitting there quietly. But he's an amazing driver, and we went over some incredible terrain, especially chasing Everett and Moto Mike. And that was so much fun.
Yeah, I'm good.
How was that?
That was fun. That little stream crossing.
That was cool.
Yeah.
You had to kind of go in and then pop out. It was rocky.
Yeah. All right. We're heading out now?
6 miles and we're there.
Okay.
Put my shirt on backwards. But the pomegranate sounds pretty good.
What the? Cheers. Cheers to you. Cheers.
Just turn the hot on. I'm like, that'll cook you, boy.
I would call it cube steak and hamburgers. A whole bunch of goodness.
Meat.
Being grilled up. With a little bit of Italian. Perfect.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I love how each day starts. People circle up, sends everybody off in the right way. It sets the right mindset of we're here for each other, we're here for the experience, we're here for the adventure, we're here to get out and have fun. So let's do it, make the most of it. And ultimately, we're here to take care of each other. Yeah.
God, thank you so much for this food. Thank you for an amazing day. Thank you for this beautiful country. Thank you for the opportunity to be here with good friends and continue to develop relationships and honor and glorify you. We just pray that you would watch over our families our way, get us safely through this adventure, and get us on to the next one. In Jesus' name, amen.
Please don't mind not to fall.
Please don't mind not to fall.
Sure. It's about 8,600.
It's a real thing like that.
The community piece is what has evolved to be the most important to me, to be involved in the community, absorb from it, learn from it, be better from it, and then be able to pass that on to my kids. When you're on two wheels and hours go by, you take mental notes. It's also the judge and jury in your own mind. And so your faults are highlighted, and your plan to improve and be able to be a better dad, be a better husband, is on the forefront of your mind. And for me, on these trips, when you have that solitude and you've got the scenery and you just have time on your hands and it's just you, reflecting on what you've done right, what you've done wrong is a lot of what I do. Dissecting our past, understanding where I want to go, and then maybe making a plan in my head of what steps I need to take to do that. And the neat thing is when I get home, it's hugs and kisses, and it's like, boom, let's do what I just thought would be a good couple things that could impact my kids, my family, their perception of their parents so that they could grow up and then elude greatness, goodness.
Christian, what are you catching?
A trout.
Trout?
Yeah, lake trout.
Circle back.
Or rainbow.
You gonna catch some lunch? Oh, goodness.
It's very unusual, I think, to just be dropped into a group or to just find a group of people so genuine and admirable and honorable. Like, I mean, anyone here, anyone that I've met in this group, specifically Able Shepherd, honor is more valuable than gold and probably harder to find these days.
I tell you what. Mike, what do you want?
Oh, I want to get ice cream.
I like this one.
Log out. I like that. Here we are. Dirty Sally's. 10 Sleep, Wyoming. Best ice cream in the world. Right here. Lost some clothes, Don.
I just put them on in the wrong order.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
What I've kind of figured out this week is there's a few luxuries you really need because they make you comfortable and you don't get worn down through the course of the week. And then there's other stuff that it's just not necessary. And it's interesting to see how some of the guys bring the kitchen sink and other guys, you know, they've got a towel and one change of underwear and they're good to go. One of the things that I've experienced this week is I've gotten much more efficient at setting up camp and breaking camp. And you know, it's one of the things that that has been a benefit is just learning how to repack and repack quickly. And every day my pack gets smaller and smaller and smaller, not because there's less stuff in it, but because I'm just packing much more efficiently. So my weight is lower on the bike. There's not a great big hump behind me so I can lean back on the bike when I'm going downhill. Just figuring out how to pack stuff and where to put the weight.
Chad, I was this close to getting one. I know. No, literally.
It's not supposed to be a straight cabin.
Hot chocolate tasting.
It's good.
How good is it?
Pretty good.
What's better than pretty good?
It's just pretty good.
Mike, what have you learned about this on this trip of what you may not bring next time?
I'd bring everything I got. Again, I really would. Probably less food. You would ask me previously, you know, is there anything that I would not bring that I brought on this trip? And I honestly told you, no. I mean, everything I brought on this trip I've used. I may add some smaller little things, you know, like a clothesline or something like that where I didn't have to borrow it from somebody. But other than that, positive experience. I'm like looking forward to the next one now.
Ready for another good day, good riding, and then the place tonight, camping and a swim, but it's been going great, man.
This is the hardest part for me, is the second arm. Because you got to do a little dance, so you got to, huh? Look at that.
Feeling good. Starting to get a little fatigued from more riding consistently than I'm doing ever.
We've got an iPhone, a GoPro, a drone battery.
You charging the GoPro?
Jump start battery, Fuji battery.
iPhone.
So,
another iPhone.
we got it going on in here. Climate controls are here. Audio controls, GPS up here.
Radio, most important part.
Heated and cooled seats, which is important because it got a little warm yesterday for us.
Oh, I bet it did. Poor guys. Oh, so sad. Everett, why is the left half of your body full of dried mud? The viewers want to know.
That's 2 days old. It's 2 days old. I slipped. If you can say that. I slipped on my bike and I bounced. And we're 2 days later. Slowly but surely it's doing this.
The bikes would naturally separate between the more advanced riders and maybe, let's just say, intermediate. So if we were following the intermediate bikes, it was considerably slower. We had a chance to kind of sit back, relax, change radio stations, tell jokes. And then if we followed the advanced riders, you'd go from 20 miles an hour chasing to 60 miles an hour chasing. At which point we both got very quiet. She would scream and squeal. And she'd put on her gloves just to hold the passenger assist handle. It was a violent experience with a truck chasing two motorcycles up the side of a hill. It's neat to see 6 little helmets bouncing up a hill and knowing that you're back there to help the team and carry along the water and tools, whatever they need.
Like, okay, that was not sand. That was a child's playground. That was Baywatch.
Yeah.
And I was not wearing skivvies.
Is that the,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Everett's doing the run.
Were you in slow motion?
Kaboom, kaboom.
Coming in a little too fast, a little too hot, and too much weight up front, and it turned my front wheel. I should have been leaning further back, and as Everett just told me, enter a little slower.
Tracks. Racing gloves.
How was that?
Hold on, Bubs. It was fun.
The seat belt's locked, so she couldn't pick up the GoPro.
Oh, that's all right.
But your batteries are charging.
I did the Jimmy Graham School of Riding in the Sand.
Which is?
I scooted back a little bit. First gear. Brep, 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 and I got through.
Yeah, there you go.
So
he does that. He's like, brap, 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 brap. And you get behind him and you're like, okay, he's upright, so it's working. New tattoo, man. Heard it's the new thing.
I've ridden motorcycles for a while. I was a sport bike guy, so street bikes, and was pretty good at it. And to get into a different aspect of motorcycling that I wasn't good at, it's something that I enjoy so much, and I knew I would enjoy it. I was just not willing to say, okay, well, this was unbelievably tough, and I thought I would be better at it, but street to dirt is not this. It's not the same thing. So I was like, all right, cool. I put years into getting good on the street. I wanna do this on dirt because it's a totally different environment. It's way more of the community. It's way more of them going out and doing something dangerous. It's way more of, hey, I'm gonna be self-reliant for a week.
Such service. I mean,
now you can see what it's like to ride in the truck.
This is just first class service here. First class support. Yeah, this is my stuff.
Mountain Uber.
Mountain Uber.
Starting to get pretty awesome.
that's a good wake-up call.
Yeah? That's just a good morning. That's a Wyoming good morning to you.
What I've seen in my improvement this week is I'm much more comfortable on the pegs, on rocky terrain, whether it's uphill, downhill, because my natural response from growing up as a kid was to sit down and kick your feet out. So I'm pretty comfortable up on my pegs on challenging terrain. I don't know how many more BDRs it's going to take before I can do 40 miles an hour on a gravel road standing on the pegs. But my philosophy is I'm not out here to conquer anything. You know, I want to go at my pace, and I'm too old to get hurt. I don't want to tear up my equipment. I want to go slow enough to enjoy the beautiful scenery, and fast enough not to be, you know, a problem slowing everything down. And it's worked out really well.
Wow.
Right, this is the proving ground for everything, for gear, for skills, everything. Definitely from the skill standpoint. I mean, this was my first big trip with that bigger bike. You know, I've only been riding motorcycles for 2 years. I was a little apprehensive at the beginning, but I think now I kind of have my ability level. I know what I can bite off and swallow and not get in over too much over my head.
Close. Close. This is like the best camping spot on the whole trip.
Yeah.
Beautiful lake. This is awesome.
Yeah, what do you think about this spot? Pretty cool?
Oh, the lake is just gorgeous. It's fantastic. It's been a great trip.
Yeah.
Very good. But I'm tired. Very tired. But it's good. It's been a great trip.
It's good kind of tired.
Good kind of tired.
Wild Zora mountain beef stew. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Would you get Mike get a picture?
Got my sunset ones, right? But I got the little guy.
I'm an efficiency junkie, and so for me, it's the process, it's the packing, it's the camping, it's the new riders. I've probably paid most attention to the new riders in the group and just ask questions. And for me, that's fun. And so for me, that's part of the process, is just learning from others that are interested in the same sport.
It's a planning thing. I'm a planner. I mean, you got to have plan A, plan B, plan C, you know, backup. This is no joke out here. I mean, you know, if you look around, your bike breaks down, yeah, you got a long haul. I think from a planning standpoint, from an organizational standpoint, I mean, the BDR organization has been phenomenal. I mean, in this space, especially for a novice like me that had never done this before, as a first-time resource, I mean, it's like an encyclopedia.
You just got to press the button.
Yeah, the longer you look at it,
It's like, what am I doing? So this isn't bad because that's bad. When it's cold outside, the water doesn't feel so bad.
Right.
with his beanie and his insulated coat on.
Nuts. See that? I'm warm and I'm eating. I'm not doing that.
Just the process that you go through from morning to evening and everything in between, observing what your counterparts struggle with, do well with. I just find that entertaining, and I also, I think, learn from it. And it seems silly, but quite honestly, I don't know, it's just a way for us to interact and learn from each other in a way that most people don't see, because this is called adventure riding, and it's truly an adventure. Nice work.
Yeah, baby. That's good.
It's a long swim.
That is a long swim.
Come swimming? You wanna come swimming?
It's just a great experience. And this one has been far and away the most intense support. I think we've had at least one flat on a truck and 4 flats on motorcycles, 2 which required inner tubes, I think. So a lot of manual labor, a lot of, how do we say, first timers that, oh, this is how a tire comes off the wheel. So learning experience for not only the sport vehicle, but the bike riders, how to maintain their bikes.
We're in Wyoming on day
Last day.
seven. And popped a bead on my tubeless tire. And this is obviously my first time taking one of these off, so I have help. Yeah.
The bike was leaning on the side of a hill, so we found a rock to essentially make a kickstand or a poor man's lift to get the front tire off. And I think it really calls out for the riders, even the trucks, to have the right equipment, right? Socket sizes, wrenches. It's critical to have somebody that's got some experience. And what I took away from that is before you take your bike on the trail, get it up on a stand, take off the front wheel, take off the back wheel. Can you get the chain realigned? Can you get the disc calipers realigned? Practice it before you go. Because on the trail, I think it's more difficult because you don't have a nice flat garage floor, a jack stand. And know what you're doing just to save time.
I was up late one night. You know, we had no cell phone reception, of course, you know, but I was composing an email to my friends that left yesterday just to kind of give them a heads up, you know, like, hey, look. And one of them actually replied back, said, oh man, he goes, thanks for that. He goes, I was under the impression that it was going to be, I mean, not necessarily easy, but just like, you know, breathtaking views and you know, really no difficult sections. I'm like, no, you're gonna have to work for that view.
Yeah.
Waiting for the riders to come off the advanced section. Me and Christian are gonna hole up, water the dog, fill a tank, empty a tank.
Good.
Good?
Yeah.
You waiting long?
No, not too long.
Good. You see the waterfalls?
Nice work, brother.
What's up, brother?
Fun run?
I like riding with you because I've learned to have a better pace.
Was it rocky?
It was rocky, it's challenging. It's probably good that it was just us two. You wasn't out for birdies, but you slowed down all that.
How far are we from the border?
8 miles.
8 miles.
Dead ahead, 8 miles. Dead
You
ahead.
ready to do this? Jason, we need to send him a location. He'll be heading down this road to link up with us, but we need to just send him pop him a location whenever we get there. I say some of the best conversations at Able Shepherd happen in the parking lot on the way to the car, because you don't want to do it in front of people, and then you start thinning out as you're going out there, and that's when you get real and people talk about, you know, I've had conversations with people that are dying. You know what I mean? I've had conversations with people that are, you know, going through heading towards divorce, all that kind of stuff. And that's the stuff you don't really talk about in the big groups back in the city. And when you shear all that stuff away and get to that other layer, it's the good stuff, right? So out here, I think that, like last night, you know, the talk about the campfire, it's just stuff that we wouldn't really cover, you know what I mean, in a populated setting. So I think that part of it, and then my son, you know, him being on here and we're talking about school starting up pretty soon, and he's so thankful. I don't think he can even explain it. Like I bought him a fishing rod at the truck stop, and he's just holding it, looking at it, and he put it together in the car while we're driving. He's like, thank you, Dad. Thank you. I'm like, you're welcome, buddy. You know, and it just, you kind of forget about that for a minute and then get out here and just absorb this stuff. And I don't think we're designed to survive. We're designed to, you know, thrive and be in this stuff. So it's like, not just get by back in town, but if you're missing this piece, there's a void and you're gonna fill it with something else. And there's something in us that longs for it, but we kind of, it's like, you know, that bird doesn't fly south of the winter, it ends one way, you know, and I think it's the same thing in the hearts of men in particular, that the mountains call to us, and if you ignore it, you're just not 100%. You're not as good as you could be.
Another BDR down.
Bittersweet.
Yeah.
Beautiful scenery.
On one hand, I'm
I'll
glad.
do this one again.
Yeah.
With the family.
It's called Takua.
Takua.
Takua. Roughly translated, take care of one another.
Really?
Oh,
Takua. Oh, Takua.
I made that up. We say that it's TCOOA.
Sink that hook.
Really?
Allison was gonna write that in her book.
Oh, I am now.
Oh, yeah.
What I learned most is I want to do this again. Just want to have a good time. I mean, this was a good time. It wasn't easy by far for a novice like me, but I would totally do this again.
I know a guy, and I just thought about this while I was driving. There's so much road time. You start thinking. And I know a buddy that rides rode his motorcycle to Peru. He only rides alone. And I remember talking to him. I was like, I was going to do a big ride with a bunch of people, and he just laughed. And I was like, what's so funny? Because I'd never done it at that point. And he goes, you'll see, just dealing with people. But then it dawned on me, because I did see what he was talking about, is that he doesn't have a shared experience with anybody. He can talk about his ride with really nobody, like, cool, you went to Peru, whatever. But if you figure out that people thing, I think part of it's picking that team and saying, hey, we're starting from a common place, but then going out and working through that little silly stuff. It's like I said for that 12,000 mile ride we did to Alaska. This will just get better with age. Like every year that ride gets better in my mind. And when I talk to people about it, it's true. And I think this is the same way.